I am Anna Seawold, and this is Authentic Parenting, a podcast about personal development in the context of parenting, where I explore how you can find more calm, connection, and joy in parenting through the process of self-discovery and inner growth with a trauma-informed lens. Today's episode is an on-air coaching call. You get to be a fly on the wall and peek into someone's life as I coach them on air. People who participate in those calls are usually members of the Authentic Parenting community, and they have applied to be coached on air, so no one is forced to do the call. Today, I help Zara, a single mother of a 6-year-old boy, how to set limits with kindness and firmness, hold that limit without giving in. And yes, this is not an easy task. And yes, your child may not be happy, but setting limits is an essential and important part of parenting. How to say no without feeling bad, and in the meanwhile, supporting your child with his feelings, and how not to raise entitled kids. I also invited Zara to do a role play, and she generously agreed. You don't want to miss that. Did you listen to the last month's coaching episode with Patrick? I try to publish coaching episodes monthly as I know how popular they are. Thursday is when the new episode magically shows up in your phone, and the last Thursday of the month is usually when I release the coaching episodes, at least for now. I personally enjoy conducting the on-air coaching calls very much. These are one-time, unscripted sessions, and we get into them without any prep work ahead of time. I like the challenge and the spontaneity of those sessions. Also, it gives you a taste of how I work with my coaching clients. If you would like to participate in an on-air coaching call, it's easy. I would love to have you on the show. You can simply click the link in your show notes to fill out a very short application, and I'll be in touch. If you would like to work with me, I will be thrilled to support you on your parenting journey. You can hire me, and as a listener, you will receive 10% off on all my coaching packages. I do work with people in person, which I love, as well as remotely. Go to authenticparenting.com to learn more. If you're on the fence, if you have questions, if you don't know how the whole process works, that's okay. You can schedule a 15-minute free call through my website. Again, I would be thrilled to support you on your parenting journey. And now, please enjoy this on-air coaching call with Zara, and I hope you will find it helpful.
First, I want to say thank you so much for reaching out for my email or request and answering so quick. I mean, I'm thrilled to be on the podcast. I'm thrilled talking to you. And honestly, I wish I found out about authentic parenting a little earlier. It would have saved me some headache and it would have helped me with some tools like in raising my son. So my problem with him, he's 6 years old. So he just turned 6. And his dad and I are divorced for the past, we separated, but like 4 years, almost 4 years ago. So he was very little when his dad moved out of the house. And I'm not sure he even I don't think he remembers the times when we were together. So he kind of used to this environment where he travels every week between parents. He goes to his dad, then he comes back to me. It was always like this. But ever since the school started, like 2 years ago, so he's in the first grade now, so kindergarten and pre-K, in the pre-K, his grandma helped me a lot because I had to work late few days a week. But from kindergarten, I start taking him myself. I start picking him up myself. So we have this transition time when he comes back from his dad and when I pick him up after school. There's like, I don't know, there's a lot of emotions going on with him. He wants to buy something, like he wants to buy a toy, he wants to buy a snack, he wants to buy things. And there is, I don't even know what I can say. I feel like doesn't matter what I say, I trigger him. Like he goes mad. He throws tantrums. We have a lot of trouble on getting on the way home. I mean, I live in the Bronx and his school is in Manhattan and I work also in the city. So we have to take a bus and then we have to take a train and then we have to walk to our house. So that time is really like so stressful and he's like all emotions. And I can always, oh, okay, let's buy a toy every time I pick you up from your school.
Yes.
Because, I can't do that. I don't want him to get used to it. Like it's not,
Yes.
yeah. And I don't want him to think that, oh, okay, you came back and I'm going to get you a toy all the time. So
that's one of the biggest challenges that you experience.
Yes, yes, that's like one very big one where he just wants to buy something. It doesn't matter what. Like it would be snack, no, icy, no, ice cream, no, toy, no, balloon, no. Like it has to be something. Like anything.
Yes. I know some children are like that. They want that reward. They want that. They want some kind of satisfaction, some kind of craving, right? But it's not the real thing. That's a masked emotion that surfaces like that.
Yes, exactly. Because it's for literally it's for 5 seconds and then he just tosses it away.
I was going to ask you.
With that orange monster, I did get him and I did not give it to him. I said, like, until you behave well, until I see that you deserve this, I will give it to you. But I'm going to get it only because I promised you. So, and then he did good the next day. And I said, okay, fine. Actually, at that time, it was right after his birthday. He behaved so bad that I took away all the toys that he got for his birthday. So I was like, okay, you can get one toy out of this box because I put them all in one box and they said, you can take one toy out of this box. You want that little orange monster? I'm just going to give it to you. And it was literally for 5 seconds. He put the whole keychain apart. He put that little string inside that that monster. And then he was like, oh, mommy, I can't take it out now. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? It was literally for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That's it.
Usually it's like I said, it's some kind of emotion. Children have hard time with transitions. They go to school, they're supposed to follow instructions, behave, listen, pay attention, learn. Yeah. We have discussed this many times on the podcast. It takes a lot out of the child, right? It's a different environment. They have to adapt to that environment. And young children and some children who have developmental difficulties, who are on the spectrum, who have high sensitivity, may have even harder time with transitions. All young children do, but some children have more. That could be a red flag in some cases that I'm not trying to diagnose your child or any other person's child, but if someone is listening and the transitions are not getting better, they're getting worse and worse, that's like a big red flag for maybe talk to a specialist, occupational therapist, get evaluated. That could be a red flag for that kind of for that kind of thing. But all children experience transitions. It's expected. We adults have a hard time too, right? Going from one place to another, especially when those situations are very different. Especially a child after school is tired, is hungry, is cranky. His connection needs are not met. He hasn't been held and touched and loved by his mom the whole day he was away. And he's exhausted. And you live in a city. He has to take the bus and the train, then walk. It's like a lot. So he may feel that, but then the way he asks for it is, can we buy a toy? Because buying a toy hits that reward center in the brain. You get, this is why people go shopping, right? They don't need it's like shopping therapy for them. We mask our emotions. We're anxious. We eat instead of saying truly, am I hungry? I have a need for intimacy and connection and I'm lonely. Okay, let me go shop. That makes me feel a lot happier. It gives you that instant boost of, wow, I got something new and exciting. But then that wears off because the real root cause or the real root need, whatever is driving that behavior, is still there, lingering. So if you placate, if you buy a toy or a snack may be appropriate and necessary, but you don't have to buy it, right?
I pack him snacks.
Yes.
And he has a bunch of snacks in different varieties, starting from like granola bars and the Z bars for kids, starting from that till cookies, because they cannot have cookies in school. But I always pack him and put him in a different side of his book bag. And I say, okay, when you come out and you did good with your lunch and vegetables and your stuff, you can have this. And this is always in his backpack. And it's been like that for the past, this is the second year. So the school just started. So kindergarten and first grade, this has been like that. When he goes to his dad, I still keep that in his little backpack, like in his little pocket of his backpack. So he still has it. He still knows it. But he has this urge of buying and spending money, like he needs to go and do that.
Yes. That urge is that it gets reinforced very quickly. And he's an only child. I have an only child. I've definitely experienced similar things. In my case, it's a Starbucks drink, because my daughter is older. As they get older, the snacks and the little toys that you can buy gets a little more extravagant. And so it's not a genuine need to get a Starbucks drink or to get a toy. It's that need for whatever connection. I am tired. I'm exhausted. I'm anxious. I had it already, Mommy. I just want to collapse because I'm tired. And so maybe before taking the bus and taking the train right away, maybe after school when you pick him up, and this may not be practical, just let me know. This is just an idea. Since you live in a city, you can afford yourself maybe 5 to 10 minutes, right? After you pick him up, maybe sit on a bench together in a nice, maybe there's a park nearby at the school, walk there together, sit down, have some together time, share a snack together, 10, 15 minutes even, right? To calm down, to slow down, to reconnect, to share a snack together, to hug, and then go on your bus, then take another train, then go home. Have that reconnection time. I feel like that might help significantly because then you're slowing down, you're reconnecting. Those things, those crying, I don't know if he cries or tantrums, that may lessen significantly because when you pick him up right away after a busy day of school, now you're on a public transit in a train. There is a lot of noise, a lot of crowds, a lot of lights and sounds and smells. That's like a lot overwhelming again to the nervous system of the child. I think having that little break built in between yet another activity, yet another transitional point in his day, have that slowing down 10 minutes. I swear, even you can sit at the school. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bench. Maybe you can just go into a little cafe where they have outdoor seating. You can sit on there, that kind of thing. And reconnect. Hug him. How was your day, sweetie? Oh, I am so happy to see you. I missed you. And I got the snack for you. Let's eat the snack together. This way you're bringing the reward with you, maybe. Then he looks forward to seeing you and seeing what you packed for him when you meet him. That might be a suggestion. What do you think about that idea?
That sounds really good. And I think I'm going to try it on Tuesdays only because he has a long day in school. It starts from 8 and I pick him up at 5:20, 5:30. He comes out. And then literally we have seconds. We walk, we take a bus, then we jump on a train, we come home. He has like 10, 15 minutes to play and to rest a little bit, then dinner, shower, and time to go to sleep. Because again, if he doesn't get his sleep, the next day is just a disaster from the morning.
Well, that's the thing. That's the modern, busy, stressful, go lifestyle. And unfortunately, like you said, you live in a city, you work. This is how it is. You can't change that. But what can you do to make it easy on him? I mean, that's a long day from 8 to 5:30. Just imagine for a 6-year-old. That's a really long day. It's a long day for you and for me.
Yes, I agree.
We somehow manage as adults without big meltdowns, but little children cannot, and they shouldn't, because they need us to fulfill their needs and meet their connection needs and give them affection and help them to have a downtime and have restful time. Build that slowing down, a little bit of a break in between you going to home. I think that will benefit both of you, that this way you're not rushed picking him up. And I know the seasons are changing and it gets dark now, so that may not be that practical.
We can stay in school because they usually come from to cafeteria to pick them up from there. So we can just stay there for 5, 7, 10 minutes. We can probably do 15 or more, but we can definitely stay for 5, 10 minutes over there.
5, 10 minutes will do. What you could do is you just look into his eyes. You want to make sure you're present for that 10 minutes. You're not rushing, looking at your phone, looking at your time schedule for the train, living in the city, I know it's, especially Manhattan and traveling like that, it's a lot nerve-wracking. But you also, I think that would be a good thing for you too, after the end of the day, so to speak, for you too, to connect with your kid and have that 7-minute little time and have a snack. Maybe you can have a snack with him after a long day. And just look into his eyes, hold his hand, give him a hug, say, I'm so happy I see you. I missed you the whole day. Instead of, how was your day? What did you learn? What did you study? Who did you play with? Forget the school questions. Don't ask school-related questions. What do you want to have for dinner? Let's go home and have dinner together. Focus on your relationship, on your connection. Whatever sentences you say in that moment, make it be about you missing him, about your love, about your connection. Let's go home and play with Legos. Let's go home and eat pasta together. Something that is about the two of you and about togetherness and presence, not about school. Forget the school. When you build this connection, when you reconnect, he will start talking about his day when you go home. I think this is more important than just getting questions about his day. How was it? Did you eat your lunch? What did you eat for lunch? Did you eat all of your lunch? Who did you sit next, during the lunch? Those kind of questions are irrelevant, unnecessary, and overwhelming to the child who is already exhausted from the day. And especially, he doesn't want to talk about the school. Let's close that part of the day and just reconnect and be in this space together. by reconnecting and focusing on the connection, on the relationship. I can't emphasize that enough. I know parents are curious about the child's day, but believe me, it's the same day every day. There's nothing happening. You would know if something major happened. Either you would get a call from
yes, I did get a call this week.
There you go. Yeah, or your child will bring up something during the downtime and the rest time. The mind, the brain, the nervous system of your child needs to relax in order to remember and process what has happened during the day. It's not like you corner your kid and say, what happened? What did you do? A lot of parents do this, and it's too much, right?
Yeah, it is. But I try not to talk about it. Like maximum we go to the train, and when we sit down, then I took out I usually take out his lunchbox and look what he ate, what was packed. Like, you know, sometimes there's some leftovers, then I can tell like, oh, you want some? And then he can finish some carrots, cucumbers, or grapes, strawberries, wherever is there. Other times, he just lately, usually what we do is he doesn't have electronics during the weekday days until Friday night. So I let him for that train ride only, not the bus, anything else, but for the train ride only, which takes about 20 minutes. I let him have my phone. That's how like he's relaxing and he's having his downtime.
And what are the effects on him? Have you noticed when he gets off of it, does he give it to you easily, or he's a lot wilder and kicking and screaming? What is his behavior usually?
He used to kick and scream and go crazy. Oh, one more round. Oh, let me finish this. After many times I took it away, that privilege, and, gave it back, and he's used to it. So the time we come to our stop, he turns it off. No matter he finished the game, he didn't finish, he just turns it off and hands me the phone.
That's fine. I think you figured out a way, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It works for you. Yes, that's fine. You have already built something like that in. He probably is very hungry also. We have done an episode, one of the coaching episodes. I can't remember the title. I will look up and put it in the show notes. It was with a woman from England. I think her name was Lisa. And we did an episode about this. You know, her children would come home in the evening too, and she would give them a snack before dinner, but give dinner already. Give a big meal before the actual dinner, because children are hungry and tired. Sometimes their blood sugar is low. Some children are more sensitive to that than others. And so giving a little snack, pretzels or crackers, is not enough. They need a good meal, protein, a healthy food. It's like by switching that also can make a big difference. I know.
Yes, and he's the person, like, I guess he takes it from me. He gets hangry, not only hungry, but he gets hangry.
It's most people are. I think most of us are like that, and especially if he didn't eat his lunch fully, right? And you mentioned cucumber, tomatoes, strawberries. These are all healthy foods, but are they heavy in calories? You know what I mean? You can eat so many cucumbers and tomatoes and strawberries. It's like after 15 minutes, I'm hungry. I need like heavy, caloric rich food to sustain that child throughout the day. I think by going too healthy, we may, give him cheese if he eats cheese, give him meat, give him healthy fats. They need that.
Yes. I mean, he has that. Like usually I have this, I try to buy everything organic and antibiotic free. So I do buy these chicken nuggets that he loves. And I warm them up, in the toaster and in the oven. And then I put them in a thermos so it stays warm. And there I put aside a ketchup. And then sometimes I make mac and cheese. I can make mac and cheese and put it in that thermos again. Usually his dad, he has him Mondays and Tuesday. he sends him to school. So those days he usually has a sandwich and fruits, vegetables on the side. But still, again, it comes with bread and then some type of a meat. Either it's a cold cut or either it's just something like chicken nuggets or usually I make like ground beef and mix it in the mac and cheese. So he eats it. For lunch, he has this heavy meal. But then there's leftovers like a yogurt, cheese steak, fruits, and then chips or something like, something like that. Or cookies, Graham cookies. They allowed them to have that. So that things. And then when he comes out, of course, he chomps on everything what's left over.
But how do you usually respond to him when he says, I want a toy, I want a snack? How do you handle it currently? How do you buy the toy and the snack, or sometimes you say no? And I want to particularly know how you say the no.
This time it was even Friday. It wasn't even Tuesday. This Friday, we came out of school. He wanted to get icy. I said, no, we can't buy icy. And on Fridays, he has also karate after school. So we have to rush home straight to be able to go to karate on time. And then he was like, then ice cream. I said, okay, you know what? I'll get you icy or ice cream or cupcake after karate. Once you go to karate, you come out, I'll get you one of those desserts that you want, because there's icy and the cupcake. There's a bakery by karate place and he likes these cupcakes. And he's like, okay. Then he saw on the way this lady was going with a bunch of balloons and balls, like inflatable balls that she was selling just on the street going. He was like, oh, I want a balloon. I'm like, we're not going to buy a balloon. You have a bunch of balloons left over from your birthday. I mean, it's still in the house. You don't need a balloon right now. And then he's like, but I do want a balloon. I'm like, well, this is not a time. And today is not a day when we buy something. And then he started having a meltdown. He's like, no, I want it. And then he screams and shouts. And then he just starts hitting. And then it turns into a major disaster in the bus. He was like screaming and crying, like all the way till we got to a train station. And then the train station, he was just so mad, but he was quiet. So he sat down and he was quiet, but he was still mad and showing me these faces, angry, mad faces all the way. And and then he took out, when he sat down, he took out his granola bar and he ate his granola bar. But then he was still mad at me.
Yes. I think when we say no, and sometimes children push for that no, they know that you're going to say no because they have that pent up emotional stuff and they need that release. They are just, as I say, looking for that release button. And they know when they ask for such and such, they know mom's going to say no. So it's a good reason to cry and release and scream and kick and all that. And so when they release all of that, it could be healthy. But I also want to focus on how do we say that no, that is kind, respectful, yet firm, yet it doesn't provoke the child in a negative way, but he understands that it's a no. And you have to be consistent with this kind of behavior, right? If you buy a toy, if you buy a snack and you say, okay, I'll buy you a snack after he cries a little bit, then you're reinforcing that behavior. Then he knows that, if I cry a little bit, I play with my mom, so to speak, manipulate, she's going to buy it. It's her style. So both of you develop this unhealthy pattern of manipulating one another. You don't want to say no. You don't want
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen because when I say no, there's no way I'm gonna go and do something. There is like absolutely no, unless I promise something and I said, okay, next day I will get you this, like with this orange monster. But still, I was like, no, you're not getting it right away, but I'm buying it. it's here, it's waiting for you when you deserve it, when you get it. So no, when it's no, it's definitely no in our house.
Very good. And also, making agreements with the kid is also good. We don't always go, you can say, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we got cupcake after every karate class? But, we can't do that. We can't have cupcakes every time we go to karate class. On special occasions, we can definitely do that, whatever that special occasion is between the two of you. And of course, you can honor that promise. I mean, we live in this world that everything is accessible. You can buy little toys all the time for little money. And we have a hard time saying no sometimes, not you, but a lot of parents. And we don't want to hear them cry because it becomes ugly. We're in a public place. So we placate them by buying the toy or buying the snack. But what's the bigger lesson? What are we teaching in a long run? And it's okay sometimes not to get the cupcake, the toy, and cry and never have that toy, whatever they dream about, because things lose their value when we give it to them too easily, too much, too quickly, too many of the same thing they have. So this is a very sensitive and important topic to remember, why am I buying it? Or when I say no, why am I saying no? What's the bigger goal in parenting? What's the bigger lesson I'm trying to teach to my child? Sometimes I think the bigger lesson is to help your child learn to regulate their emotions is a lot bigger lesson than earning their love and their approval for a moment. Oh, mommy was nice. She did this for me, type of thing.
Absolutely. I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And we all struggle with this. I am raising my hand. It's especially in our Western culture, why not? You can click, you can use your credit card, you have the money. When we say no, this is not the right time, your child may have arguments and say, why not? It is the right time for me.
Yeah.
I have balloons, but I want another balloon. Why not? Right? So we want to have a clear idea of the why and why not for ourselves. But how we communicate that's what I want to focus on. For example, you said, and I would have said this too, and many people would say the same thing, we're not going to get that today. We're not going to get that balloon today. Right? Pretend you are the kid, you and I am your mom. And now you say, let's role play this for a minute. You are my child. You're 6 years old. You see this shiny balloon. It's different. It has lights in it, right? Even though you have balloons at your place after your birthday, but you want another balloon because you are a kid and it's interesting. Right. Okay. Now, Zara, you are my kid. Ask for a balloon.
Mommy, I want that balloon. Can you get me a balloon, please?
No, we're not going to get that balloon today. You have so many balloons from your birthday.
But Mommy, I want it. I want it now.
How do you feel when I say that? No, I said we're not going to get a balloon. You have so many balloons. You can go home and play with your balloons.
But I don't have that one. I want that one. Look, she's going away. I want that one. That's exactly his words.
Yes. So let's stop here. First and foremost, when I tell you I'm not going to get that balloon, you have so many balloons. As a child, what do you hear and what do you feel necessarily? Like in your body, how do you feel?
I feel dismissed. She doesn't care that I don't have that balloon. Like, she doesn't care that this is what I want. I'm not being heard.
Good. Now, what can you do to switch your language? Now, you're the mom now. What can you do to switch the language of saying, I'm not going to get you the balloon? Use a sentence that conveys the message that you're not dismissing him, you're hearing him, you're caring about him, but you're still not getting him the balloon. That's the tricky part. But I want you to practice. Give me a sentence, change that sentence around in a way that it's not dismissive of a child's feelings, that you understand that he needs that goddamn balloon right now. But nevertheless, your answer is no. So give it a try, Zara. I'll help you too.
Oh, that's a very tricky one. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. We cannot buy that balloon today.
And now you're apologizing. You're feeling, oh, I'm sorry. We're not going to buy that balloon today.
I don't think that's a good one.
Yes, good. I'm happy you want to maintain your conviction as a parent. You don't want to say, oh, I'm sorry. I wish I could buy it, but I can't. I'm helpless. No, we don't want to apologize for that, especially if he has. And what will happen if you don't buy that balloon? Let's talk about that. How would your child feel?
Angry, mad. He gets really mad. He doesn't go upset, but he gets mad. And he can hit, he can throw a tantrum, like he can throw something at you. Yeah, it's like anger comes out. He can squeeze your hand really hard or pinch you, like trying to hurt you.
What could you say that shows curiosity and interest in that balloon from your side as a mom? When he says, I want that balloon, Mommy, it looks so different, look. Instead of rushing and saying no, could you say some other sentence before saying the no that shows that you're seeing and hearing him? You're not dismissing him. You're caring and you're curious. Give me that kind of sentence in your own words. If you have a hard time, let me give you a
very hard time.
Of course, this is a tricky thing. But imagine me and you, Zara, are two female friends, and we may meet. By the way, I mean I'm not far from Manhattan.
If you have another conference, I will be there if I can.
Yeah. So let's say me and you go to shopping together, and I see this beautiful handbag that costs $2,000. Look, I'm not into handbags, but I'm just bringing this example.
Yeah.
Let's say I see this beautiful handbag and I say, oh my God, Zara, look, I really want this handbag. I have so many handbags, but I really want this one. The handles are so beautiful. It's so me. It's my style. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to show that you hear me, you understand me, you're on my side as a friend?
Well, that's easy because I do have a friend who buys everything for nonstop and can't stop sometimes. I guess I would say if you really want it and you must, like you're really dying for this handbag, you should just get it.
But I don't have the money right now and I have so many bags, Zara.
Then forget about it. You'll get over it. That's the easy part for me.
But for a child, right? For your child, the thing that I'm trying to get you at is you could see where your child is coming from. He just saw a new object, a new balloon that he doesn't have, and it's a balloon, but it's a little different. How can you show interest and say, wow, that looks really cool, that balloon? What if you said that? What if you said, oh, where do you see the balloon? Oh, there? That looks really cool. It has lights in it. I've never seen a balloon like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of balloons. I can say, oh, wow, that's a lot of balloons. And I don't know which one you're pointing at and which one exactly you want.
Don't use the word want. Then he may think that you're going to buy the balloon. Right? All you're doing is you're showing interest and curiosity in his desire, which is a fleeting desire. It's not a real thing.
Yes.
Sometimes children see something new and they feel like they have to have it. But if you sort of entertain the idea, grant a wish in fantasy, so to speak, say, don't you wish you could have all of those balloons? Don't you wish we can buy all those balloons and take it home? What would you do with them? Or you could say, wow, which balloon? That looks really interesting. I didn't know balloons come with lights. We have balloons at home. We're not going to buy a balloon today, but that's a really cool balloon. That's kind of like a normal response. You're not dismissing him. You're seeing what he wants. You can even go and approach the balloon lady. I don't know, or get closer, not completely close, but why do you like this balloon? Ask him a question about the balloon, or, what did you do with the balloons in our place? We have so many balloons, blah, blah, blah. So curiosity, showing interest, not dismissing, because his desire is a fleeting desire in that moment. For young children, they convey it like that. Instead of saying, I like it very much, or I am curious, I want to know more about that balloon, they say, I want it, and I want it now. But if you join into his interest in that moment, then you're not dismissing him. But if you come from a dismissing place, then he's going to want the balloon more, even though it was a fleeting desire. It turns upside down and it becomes a power struggle because you dismissed his feelings.
Yeah.
It becomes about that, not about the balloon. But however, he used the balloon as a pretext, he's going to use it as his anchor. He's going to say, I want the balloon. I want the balloon. But it's not about the balloon. He says, I want your approval, mommy. I want you to see and hear me, mommy. But he's using the balloon as a pretext. Does this make sense?
Yes, totally. So I could have said, oh, that's, I don't know what exactly I need, just the sentence, what I could have said, so I know the example.
But that's why I want you to come up with it. I can say many things in that moment, but it's not you. It's not true to you. I want you to come up with something. Don't worry, you're making a mistake. We're crafting a sentence. This is a good working moment for you. If I give you a script, your brain is not working for it. It's not good. You're going to forget, and it's not true to you. I want you to come up with something on the spot right now that you're not dismissing, but you're showing interest in the balloon. It's just very simple, but it's hard.
Yeah, it is very hard for me because I'm just like, oh, wow, I don't know. I could say, oh, wow, that's a lot of balloons.
You can say, which one is your favorite? My favorite is the big purple one. Something like that. You can join in. It doesn't mean we're going to buy the balloons, but we are talking and being curious together. It's an interesting new balloon.
That's it. Yeah. So I just have to say, like, oh, wow, that's a lot of balloons. Which one do you like? Or I should not say this like and want. Or maybe I should just point out that, oh, wow, I like the purple one.
Whatever comes to you, that it has to be genuine to you in that moment. What would you say as a person if you saw like a lady with a bunch of balloons that have lights in them, or they're very different? How would you react if you were a child, if you're not the strict mommy, or you are an adult but you're curious too?
If I just like go back in time and just say, oh, look at the balloons, I want the balloon, I would be like, oh, wow, that lady has a lot of balloons. That would be my first response now.
Like the amount of the balloons that this.
Yeah, because she had this shopping cart and it all was covered in balloons and balls. Like everything was attached to it, and she was just walking on the street. And that probably would be my first response instead of saying, oh no, I'm not buying your balloon.
Exactly. Then say that. Wow, do you see how many balloons she has on her cart? Isn't that interesting or impressive? Point out something about it that also is interesting for you.
Okay.
That would be my instinct to say, not like, look at that purple balloon, it's nice. I don't want you to have a recorded script like that.
Yeah.
I want you to genuinely be present in the moment and look at the balloon with the eyes of a 6-year-old. What's so interesting and exciting about balloons? And as an adult, you also get interested in it. Like you said, the size, the amount, make a comment about that.
Okay.
And that may lead to a conversation between the two of you. And then you can say, then he may not even bring that up anymore, that he wants a balloon. Then you don't even have to say no.
Maybe.
Yes. So you have to.
But I definitely have to try to see.
Yes, you have to try and experiment. But so to put a wrap on this point, what is your takeaway from saying no and setting a limit in the moment?
In the moment, try to connect with him, join the conversation, and definitely not start with a no. I'm not getting your balloon.
Yes, but if you start like that, I mean, it's just you are blocking right away. You're not right. The person already wants to feel defensive and attack you back.
Yes, and then it's just going to be a power struggle and screaming and crying all the way. So yes, I would definitely would have said, we can turn back time. Oh wow, that's a lot of balloons, or something like that, and then maybe engage in conversation for a little bit, but few seconds, and then say, no, we cannot buy a balloon today.
Not even we cannot buy a balloon. You can say, oh, you can even say it positively. You know, sometimes saying no, don't, stop, those negative words, we fill our children's days with a lot of those negative words. We can't buy a balloon. It creates a response in a child. Why not? Right? So how do we say that no without actually saying the no, or saying it in a positive way or in a neutral way? Or like I said, you can say, wouldn't it be nice? This works very well with young children. Wouldn't it be nice to get all of the balloons that lady has? I wonder how much money would that be? Young children love that. Exaggeration, fun.
Yes, they do.
Excitement, crazy ideas. You can say, imagine we got all those balloons. Can we get into the train with all of those balloons that we buy from this lady? Now you are with your child. He doesn't feel dismissed. He feels like, wow, my mommy is as crazy as me. My mommy is even crazier than me. And we're having fun together. And that's what it's all about. It's not about, you know what I mean?
But what if we still come to the point where he say, can I get that one?
You can say, you know what, honey, today I'm not going to buy a balloon today. Not today, maybe another time when we see this lady and we have a celebration or occasion or something like that. I will keep that in mind. I know you like this kind of balloon. Maybe I can buy this for your birthday. Maybe I can buy if a holiday is coming or a celebration or something like that. You can say something like that too. It depends on the moment. It depends how severe your child is experiencing it.
Yeah. But I think, like, knowing my child, I think he's going to push till the end.
And
he wants to buy the balloon. Like, okay, we talked about it. You want to buy the whole card. But I want specifically this balloon, and can you buy it?
This is what I would also suggest. 2 things. Your child is 6 years old. You could start giving him little allowance, $2 a week. Let's say, if he's a buy type of kid, some children are, I would teach him the value of money. I would give him allowance for no strings attached reason, solely teaching him about money and teaching the value of money. If he's interested, he may not be. Some children are not. They're not ready at that age. But you can say, you know what? I'm going to give you your own money, $2 a week, and you can choose to use that money however you want. He can carry it with him. And if he has $2, like the balloon or whatever he wants to buy, like that kind of small toy thingies on the streets of the city that you live, he can save his money. And if he really, truly wants that balloon, he will save up for it. You can do that too. You can teach him that if he wants something, he can accumulate that money and buy that balloon. But you can start giving him allowance weekly.
Yes.
$2 a week, I think, for a 6-year-old in a city is decent amount.
Yeah.
Like my daughter used to want lip glosses, right? Lip chopsticks. But she had a million of them. And then when we said, I'm not going to say no every time she wants a chopstick or a lip gloss. But when she had her own money, guess what? She was not buying it. She stopped buying those lip glosses because it's not interesting. She doesn't want to spend her money on gaining something. She has like in many hundreds of them probably. Not hundreds. But you could do that too. But another option is to say that no and having him respond with his emotions. And it's okay. They need to hear the no. And it sucks for them. But the life is not always going to be giving, and not everybody is going to give them things. You're not raising an entitled kid. It's okay. It's a no. And you have feelings about it. I am here. I will listen to your feelings, but my no will not change to a yes. And that's the emotional support part that comes in. You can just be present there instead of saying, don't kick, don't hurt, don't yell.
I just let him be, because he is strong. He is for 6 years old. He is strong, and he's getting only stronger. So I don't even try to like in the beginning when he was 5 and all of this last year, he was kicking me, and all I would do just hold him from hurting me. This now he knows he doesn't hit me, so he doesn't hurt me. He can still like pinch me or just squeeze my hand hard trying to hurt me, but that's about it. And he would just like, kick the bar over there or push the seat. Like that's the type of thing that he would do. And I just let him be. I am right there. I'm not saying anything. I'm right there with this bus ride. I know there were people who were just like, oh, can you just shut your child? Why is he screaming so much? I just let it be. I did not respond to anything. I did not tell him anything. I said, okay, you choose. If you want to keep doing this, then let all the emotions out. That means you're not going to get my phone on the way home. Or you can just stop and pull yourself together and we can just go to the train. So he chose to melt down and take this all out on the seat. So he did that. I was there without saying anything.
I wouldn't call it a choice. I would be careful with that because it's not a choice, right? It's his body getting dysregulated. It's not a choice. When we say you have a choice to do this, we're assuming that the child has control over their emotions, over their body, which they don't. So I wouldn't use the word choice and just allow him to cry about it. And that's okay. I'm here for you. You're having a hard time. You heard mommy say, no, we're not getting the balloon. And that made you very, very angry. But I'm here, honey. I'll be here with you. Not many words, one of those sentences to convey that he's mad, you're seeing him, but you're here no matter what, and it's okay. You're not changing how he feels. You're not saying, do this, do that. It was choice. You're threatening him. You're not going to get the phone. You're going to get this. No more conversation, no more talk. Hold him. You can say, I can hold you, sweetheart. Let's sit here together. It's,
oh God, that's impossible. You have to leave him alone. I cannot touch him absolutely when he's in that stage.
Okay. That's fair enough. Don't touch him, but be there in proximity like you do and convey with your facial expression, not words. If the touch is not accepted, with your facial expression, at least convey compassion, that you understand that it's hard for him, that he's going through this. Like, have that compassionate look on your face. When he looks at you, he will see that you're there and you understand what he's going through, that you're supportive of his emotions. The same is true for adults, right? If you and I met and I shared with you bad news about my health, your facial expression will definitely change. You may not have words to say. If I said I'm gonna, have a surgery and I may not come out alive, you may not have words to say. Is sometimes,
but you'll be there.
But
I'll be there.
Mm-hmm. That's the most important part in emotion regulation, emotion coaching. It's not what you say. The words are not important. It's how you show up with your body, with your facial expression, with your presence next to your child. You're not saying, I'm going to go. When you're done, I'll come back. Don't neglect. Just sit there. Let your child see that you're there. And you can say what triggered it. You can say, oh, when I said no, I'm not going to buy that. It was very hard for you to hear because you wanted it so much. And mommy just said no, because you're stating the thing, what triggered him, but you're creating that space and container and you are present. That's what I would say. Not a choice. Don't use the word choice because that's not a choice. If he had the choice, obviously he wouldn't do it. And because then he thinks, wow, my mommy or people expect me to have a choice, then it makes him feel helpless more because obviously it's not a choice. It happens in his body. So I think the language plays a huge role in how we interact with our children. It could be triggering too. It could exacerbate things.
There's I never, when he's in a good mood, when he's in a bad mood, there's always, I feel like sometimes, some days, I feel like I'm walking on the eggshells because I never know what's going to trigger him. I can say a simple thing and that could make him so mad at me, for a second. In a second, he will change. And I'm like, what did I say? What did I do? Where this coming from? And I can feel this, he's kind of angry with me.
Well, different things come to mind. And of course, these are all my ideas. That just take it with a grain of salt. I'm not there. I haven't seen. This is the first time we're speaking. It could be many different reasons. It could be grieved, loss, whatever, the divorce, or just the fact that he has to go back and forth. But he was young, you said. However, when children are young, they don't have the memory of the event, but they feel that in their body, the traumatic event, unresolved loss, ungrieved loss may be lingering still, needs to be processed. And it could be done through professional therapist, child psychologist, or through art. You could do certain things. That's number one. It could be he is sensitive. It could be that he's on a spectrum, not him, but children like him. They could have something of that nature that triggers them. Another thing would be he has accumulated feelings, meaning how do you do emotion coaching, emotion listening? How do you teach him how to regulate his feelings? The way you parented this whole part about emotions, how did you do that? Did you allow always for him to have healthy expression, or you stopped him from crying, or you bought a toy, or you know what I mean? That can play a role too. If you start
He was a perfect child until he started pre-K, all I can say. Even the moment I took him from the hospital and brought him home, he slept through the night. He did not cry. He was a happy child. He would eat everything. And I never really had problems with him until the pre-K. I did start taking him to a psychologist last summer because we went to Russia. I'm from Russia, so my family.
So you speak Russian?
Yes, I do.
Мы можем говорить по-русски, и никто не поймет.
Да, мы можем.
See, we can speak Russian and no one will understand, only the Russian speaking. We may do that later, but it could be related to separation. Sometimes children, when they go to pre-K for the first time, they separate from their moms. How was that handled and processed in him? That could
But he was in a daycare from young age. So
it doesn't matter, right? All children go through this normal separation anxiety, separation from their mom's process. He could have lingering things. He could not. There could be lots of things. And it's honestly outside of the scope of our coaching session today. And you're welcome to call me again and we can talk about that. But I want to keep it to the point that we discussed today. I think don't bring in new subjects, right?
Yes.
But it can have many different reasons for that. But I would recommend a couple of episodes. I think episode 120 of the podcast, How to Listen to Your Children's Big Feelings, is a really good one. It goes step by step and we dissect the whole process of emotion coaching, listening. There are a couple of other episodes that are relevant to what we talked today. One of them is that coaching session with Lisa. I will link it up. Another one, I believe, is titled How to Say No Without Actually Saying No to Your Children. That's a good episode too. We have done a bunch of good episodes that are relevant to what we discussed. It will really bolster your learning experience. I would start with that.
And yes, and I listened to few episodes, like I listened 2 or 3 times just to keep it in my mind and to like remember it. And I've been binge listening since then. all the episodes, and yes, they are a lot of episodes, and yes, thank you so much for your help.
Okay, so to wrap this call up for today, Zara, which I'm very thankful that you joined me, I want to ask you the final and critical question. What are your main takeaways? And of course, you're going to go back and listen to the podcast when it airs. But as of now, what stands out the most? What are the key points that you're taking away with you?
So I do have my notes here and I've been taking notes. So my first thing would be the reconnection with this 10-15 minutes on Tuesdays when I get him back from his dad and school. So I definitely want to try that this coming up Tuesday. Do not talk about school or anything, just me and him, reconnection with a snack and the juice or chips, something, just sitting before we hit the road. Because it is crazy. It is, city is crazy. My schedule is crazy. His schedule is crazy. And it's very good one that I really want to try it. So that's one. Second one is maybe get him a real food, like with more calories, which I have this really under note thing. Get him a food, something bigger than just chips and strawberries and cucumbers stuff. That goes again with all number one. And when it comes to this, buy me this, buy me that on the way, not to dismiss him and just show interest and join him in this conversation. That's the second point. And the very last one, I think I had the third one. Yes, during the meltdown, just be present with the facial expression and compassion, not touching it because it's impossible with my child. So that's 3 points that I say point out in my notes. With all the extra write downs.
And and I want to say extra 2 things too.
One more, sorry.
Yes.
One more is just the allowance money, no strings attached, that one. Because we do have this chart and we have a board where if he gets those points, I give him money for that point. But if he gets it, not no strings attached, he has to earn them.
No, throw that away.
Different.
Yeah, that's a whole different podcast. I'm not a fan of charts, not good. Conditional parenting, not effective in the long run. We can do an episode on that. If you're going to teach him about money, give him an allowance and things like that. We can discuss this in our private Facebook group. I know you're very active there. But the reward chart and system, I would get rid of that. It creates so much anxiety and frustration in a child. In order to earn this, I mean, he's like constantly not getting closer to the goal and feeling like a failure all the time. It's not good.
We haven't done it. We did it last year. This year we haven't done it. The summer was all crazy, and it's been really busy. The whole thing.
And you're a single mom. I mean, kudos to you. You know, it's hard. You work.
Thank you.
You do everything. It's not easy. But happy children can cry. They need to cry. So don't assume that if your child is crying, then he's not happy. In fact, it's good. Let the tears come out. Let's teach them emotion regulation, self-awareness, tuning into their emotions. We can tune into theirs so that they can learn to recognize their emotions in themselves, because that helps them to learn about other people and other people's feelings, right? So we want to raise empathic and emotionally intelligent children. And sometimes we say no. Often we have to say no and then they're not happy. And that's okay. That's not the end of the world. Another great episode was tears and crying. I'm not sure if you've listened to that, but it was a good episode too. It wasn't about children's tears and crying. It was just a general scientific view, why humans cry and tears and all of that. So
I should listen to that, because I cry all the time.
and you are a happy human being, I can tell.
I try my best. It took me a long way and long time, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope our session was useful. I'm so happy.
Very, very. This is really good.
I'm so happy. And спасибо большое, and до свидания.
И вам спасибо. И вам огромное спасибо.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.